Welcome everyone to another Destiny video on my channel. Hopefully you're all enjoying your day today, and in this video we're going to be going over the top 10 primary weapons that you should use in the Trials of Osiris when it does release to ensure you'll be able to go flawless. So let's get down to the list. Hopefully you do enjoy it. Alright, to start off this top 10, coming in at number 10 is the pulse rifle known as the Spare Change .25, which I think most of you guys are definitely familiar with. It was a year 1 pulse rifle that you're able to get in the Crucible, but it had made a year 2 return, and I managed to get my hands on it and try it out, and I think this gun definitely deserves to be used in the Trials of Osiris. It's just a really great pulse rifle. It's like the Messenger, just it's obviously not the Messenger itself, and it works like a hopscotch pilgrim from year 1. This gun could take out enemies from long range, 2 to 3 bursts in the head, as long as you get your precision shots on point, and it's really good in even close range situations, but it's really good especially in long range. So if you're going to be holding down an objective in Trials of Osiris or playing more passively, this gun is the way to go. The only negatives I could say about the Spare Change is that it could probably not be the best weapon to beat with one-on-one gunfights. There are obviously better weapons in this top 10 that could definitely beat the Spare Change in a one-on-one gunfight, but it's still an overall good weapon, so that's why it deserves the number 10 spot. Moving on into the number 9 spot is an auto rifle that came with the Taken King DLC, the exotic primary weapon known as the Zalo Supercell, and this gun does really well in both PvE and PvP. Ever since the Destiny 2.0 update, which they had the huge gun patch, auto rifles do perform really well, and the Zalo Supercell does just that, and it does work like a Monte Carlo. I think the stats of the Zalo Supercell and the Monte Carlo are actually really similar, and you know, the Zalo Supercell has a great fire rate. The damage is really good for an auto rifle, and it just takes down enemies really quick. It's really good for one-on-one gunfights. In long range, it does pretty okay, not the best though, and medium range efforts, it does pretty well, but mostly since it's an auto rifle, it does really good in close range. So in many one-on-one situations in Trials of Osiris, the Zalo Supercell would perform really well. Number 8 isn't too surprising at all. It comes right after the Zalo Supercell, and it is the exotic weapon known as the Monte Carlo. And like I said before, the Zalo Supercell and the Monte Carlo are really similar. Even the stats are identical to be exact. But what makes the Monte Carlo better over the Zalo Supercell, to put it on the number 8 spot though, is that the perks on the Monte Carlo are probably much better suited for PvP rather than the Zalo Supercell. For example, the hip accuracy on the Monte Carlo is much better than the Zalo Supercell, and I could also say the sights on the Monte Carlo are much better than the Zalo Supercell. That's why it goes over to the number 8 spot right before, or actually right after, the Zalo Supercell. And now number 7 is another auto rifle that has made its way into year 2 Destiny, the infamous Suros Regime. And remember this gun back when Destiny first was released? This gun was a mad machine, and with the patch 2.0, this auto rifle is actually still really good and could deal a lot of damage in Trials of Osiris. The impact is really good per shot, much better than the Zalo Supercell and the Monte Carlo, which makes it the go-to auto rifle if you're choosing to use an auto rifle in the Trials of Osiris. The fire rate is not that bad as well, and just everything around with the Suros Regime does work really well. And I do actually want to thank J4 Gaming for this gameplay. I do not unfortunately have the Suros Regime on my account, but he managed to lend me this gameplay, so I'm actually going to link his channel in the description below. He does post a lot of great Destiny as well if you want to check his stuff out, so thank you for that. And that is the Suros Regime in the number 7 spot. Alright, now number 6 is a pretty unexpected one indeed, but this gun is just so good that I have to put it in the top 10, and this gun is actually a raid weapon, the pulse rifle known as the Smite of Moraine. And just don't listen to the stats just lie. This gun just completely destroys everyone, and I used it in PvE and PvP, but this gun is extremely effective in PvP. I've seen myself actually 2-burst enemies with this weapon. As long as you get your precision hits in, this gun could completely melt people from long range, and this gun works really well as well in close and medium range. So it's almost a perfect pulse rifle to use, but there are obviously better weapons than this. But if you do not have any of those great exotic primary weapons or the weapons that I have just mentioned in the top 10, this gun is the go-to weapon if you have it from the raid. This gun just does so much work, and in Trials of Osiris, I feel like this could be really lethal and effective. And now into the second half of this top 10, number 5 goes to another pulse rifle known as the Hawksaw. And I bet most of you guys do recognize this weapon when you played Crucible on Destiny, because this gun is actually meant specifically for Crucible. It is just such a well-rounded pulse rifle that it just works perfectly for Trials of Osiris. What makes it so good and what makes it stand out is its rate of fire especially. The rate of fire is really immense, and with its impact, it deals a really good amount of damage per shot. So you could kill enemies so quickly that they won't even notice what they got killed by in the first 2 seconds of the gunfight. It does so well. The stability also is really good and has a really good range. So I feel like this gun works perfectly for close to medium range encounters, especially for Trials of Osiris when there's many one-on-one gunfights going on. Now number 4 is one of the 2 hand cannons from Year 1 Destiny that dominated the Trials of Osiris in Year 1 and has been revived into a Year 2 edition. It is the Last Word, and I don't really have to even do any explanation to show how good this weapon is. Unfortunately, it did get pretty much nerfed, but it's still really effective and usable in PvP, especially for Trials of Osiris. The rate of fire of this hand cannon just does so much. The impact itself does really well, and it just does so much in a close range encounter, especially for a one-on-one gunfight, which is vital in the Trials of Osiris. And now number 3 is another pulse rifle and an exotic primary pulse rifle as well, and it is the Bad Juju. Unfortunately though, I do not have the Bad Juju at the moment, so this gameplay is brought to you by Pico210, and he's a really great Destiny YouTuber as well with J4 Gaming, so I do encourage you to check out his channel, link in the description. This is in fact though a Year 1 gameplay, but the thing is, the Bad Juju is still stuck to its roots, and this gun still completely melts. In this gameplay, Pico does go 26-1 in skirmish, but it just shows how lethal the Bad Juju is with its fire rate. The accuracy is not bad whatsoever, and its main perk that when you get kills, it actually gets your ammo right away and you could build up your super much faster. That is really vital for Trials of Osiris. That's why it deserves the number 3 spot, because not only does it do a lot of damage as a pulse rifle, but its perks in general make it so much easier for you in Trials of Osiris, and it could definitely benefit your team to go flawless. Now the second to last weapon in this top 10 primary weapons to use in the Trials of Osiris is a hand cannon known as the Hawkmoon, and this gun did come with the Taken King DLC for the Xbox One, so thankfully I got my hands on this weapon and I'll be able to use it in the Trials of Osiris. But after using it in a game of Crucible, this gun absolutely melts, and I like how it actually was supposedly nerfed with the hand cannons, but this gun is still really good. The range on this Hawkmoon is amazing and the impact is really good, and with the holding aces perk and luck in the chamber, you got 3 out of those 13 shots in your magazine that could deal extra damage, and that could come in handy, especially if you hit a precision shot in a game of Trials of Osiris. It does so well, and I just like it, and it's much better than the past 7 weapons that we mentioned in this list, and that's why it is well deserved to be in the number 2 spot. And now finally, to finish off the top 10 list is none other than the pulse rifle known as the Red Death, and it was made again into Year 2, and it was really good in Year 1 as well, but it didn't stand out as much because of the 2 hand cannons from Year 1. But now in Year 2, I feel like this is the best weapon to rack up in the Trials of Osiris. It has great fire rate, the impact is really good. If you run it with high caliber rounds, it makes the enemies flinch a lot, and especially when you're coming into a situation when there's a lot of enemies around you, the perks on the Red Death when you kill somebody and regenerate your health and you reload faster is so vital that it does so much work when playing in the Trials of Osiris. With all the one-on-one gunfights and all the sticky situations, this gun just performs perfectly for Trials of Osiris. I think it's the perfect weapon for the Trials of Osiris, and I feel like that's why it should deserve the number 1 spot. So yeah guys, that is the top 10 primary weapons that you should use in the Trials of Osiris to ensure that you'll be able to go flawless with your fire team. And if you have a different top 10 list that you want to post in the comment section below, maybe any guns that I did miss, or maybe you could talk about any guns that you don't think that deserve this spot in this top 10 list, definitely comment down in the comment section below. I'll definitely interact with you guys down below. And if you guys thought this video was very entertaining and informative, it would mean a lot if you guys could hit that like button below, share this video around, and if you want to see some more great Destiny content by myself, definitely go subscribe down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.